I have with me someone whose app has made the word swipe right synonym to a potential date. Joining me is Elie Seidman, CEO of Tinder. Elie, thank you for joining us and welcome to India.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
First thing first, how difficult is it to convince Indians to swipe right?
India is the most successful country for us in all of Asia. So it's the second top grossing app in all of India. So it's become a very important business, and it's a very important country for us.
Right, and also talk to me about what are the features that are that built or specific to Indian market, that Tinder has brought up.
The core of Tinder actually goes back to something which is very universal in a lot of ways, right? And so let's talk about what Tinder did. If you go to a party, maybe some friends are hosting a party, and you see somebody across the room and they see you and you're saying, I'd be interested in spending time with that person, right? That's something we can all relate to in a very simple way. And Tinder took and put that in an app, right? You said it, you swipe right on somebody. You see somebody's story, you swipe right on them. If they're interested in you, they swipe right on you, and you have that moment, that kind of like that click, that match, right? That Tinder. That's been proven to be very, very universal. As we've grown around the world, we start to look at specific things that might be relevant. So we actually launched a couple months ago, My Move, which extends the initial power that we gave people to choose who they connect with. And so, but I think the core story, right, is this human story of wanting to connect and meet new people, and the fact that those early innovations made it so incredibly elegant to do that.
And coming back to the Indian market, how is the market also growing, developing in terms of using Tinder? If you can give me a sense of that as well.
Yeah, so we don't break out the specifics of Tinder in India, but we have said, like I said before, it's the most important market for us in all of Asia. We're now the second top grossing app in all of India. So you can get a sense for how important it's been, and it's very important to us as a market. So it's growing. I think the bigger thing, right, is if you think about the number of young people who are single, who are using their smartphones with cheap bandwidth, using them all day, every day, and how quickly that's changed, right? In a few years' time, that's become a totally different game. That's how big the market potential is. And so I think it's a really exciting opportunity, and a really exciting moment in the history of this category and the history of Tinder in India.
Right, and for Tinder to grow, the basic thing is people need to pay as well for you to monetize as well for certain features. But are Indians paying for features? Because I want to get a sense of the kind of trends you're seeing as far as the Indian audience is concerned, in terms of the way they use are they paying?
The vast majority of people everywhere, India and everywhere else, use Tinder for free.
Okay.
Right? It's a freemium app. The core of using Tinder is a free experience. You come into the app, you do what we're known for. You swipe right, you swipe left, you match, and then you chat with people, and you can do that for free. We sell a small number of premium features that a small number of people buy. Obviously, enough people buy them that last year we were at more than $800 million a year of revenue globally, and that was up approximately by 2 over the previous year's 400. So you get a sense of how it's become a very big business. And then, of course, the number 2 in India in terms of grossing.
What is that's making Tinder's edge? What is that is keeping your edge in this dating market?
Well, the best part of Tinder by far is the people, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's people. You come to Tinder because you want to meet people, you want to make experiences, you want to meet those new people, you want to make your life better. That's the best part of Tinder. And we're very fortunate that with tens of millions of people around the world, right, there's a lot of opportunity for people to meet. That's the best part of Tinder by far. If we go back, our innovations for how we help people meet were the core and the reason we became this global success.
Right, and besides India being, what is unique to Indian market that you have seen? And I've asked you, but I'm putting that question in a different way, just to get a sense of what makes India interesting for you in terms of trend, in terms of how people use Tinder. From that perspective.
I think one of the most interesting ones that we've seen, it's a really interesting one, but I think it tells a bigger story, is the rate at which women super like on Tinder. Super like is a way to show extra interest, to have your interest noticed by the other side. And we see that Indian women super like more than anywhere else in the world. And I think that's a very interesting, I think it speaks to the control, the control over their experience that they got. The first innovation, right, of mutually consenting to matching was the breakout along with swiping of Tinder in the first place. Super liking is women saying, hey, I want to have even more engagement in this process. That's a unique thing for me. So I think that's an interesting example.
And then talking about the privacy bit of it, that has been, not just in India, but all across. How are you making sure the data of how we make, tackling the issue of privacy?
When you think about privacy, what part of it are you thinking of it in particular?
In terms of how much of data of the user should be given to the party, and in terms of how you protect the data of an individual who comes and sign up on the platform.
So there's a couple different things, right? The first part is that Tinder is completely you opt into joining Tinder. When you come to Tinder, the first thing we ask you to do is say, tell your story, right? Show us photos of who you are. Tell us what your job is. Tell us where you went to school. Tell us what you choose to put in there, and you choose to put in. And then we show you, in Tinder, that core screen, we show it to the other people on Tinder. The vast majority of our revenue doesn't come from advertising. More than 95% of our revenue comes from those features we were talking about before. So we're in the business fundamentally of selling those features. So, I think we think about privacy a lot. It's a very important issue, but fundamentally people who are coming are saying, hey, I want to be shown on Tinder. That's how the system works.